Welcome to Hypnotherapy with Regression Demonstrated, taking a client from I've never met them to they've got the outcomes that they were looking for. Our demonstration subject is Cece. This is one out of a series of 5 YouTube videos extracted from my courses. To get the full versions, get my initial courses, Hypnotherapy Demonstrated and Hypnotherapy with Age Regression on Udemy or at my website. For advanced courses and personal hypnotherapy sessions with me, go to my website, the Past Life Awakening Institute. This is video 4. Here we see a third session, which involves a regression to key people and therapeutic resolutions, including forgiveness, cord cutting, and future progression. A pre-session interview was done but omitted in this YouTube version. A hypnotic induction was done but is omitted in this YouTube version. It is given in the full course version available on Udemy or at my website.
You are outside that healing temple. Is it okay to go into it? To find a place you can recline? Last time you had pillows set up. Is there a place where you can be for healing in that healing temple? To review some of these things. So can you settle yourself there? What happens as you go into that temple?
It's all white with curtains, flowing curtains, and there's a big couch mattress type place where I can sit or lie down, and right in the middle, waiting for me.
Okay. So a couch, a healing place, you can sit and be comfortable. And so you can do that. And as we go through this, and as I mentioned, some of those things about the past session, the experiences you've had, the emotions and release. And as I talk about those, what feelings or thoughts come to mind?
It's all good.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so you're in this healing place with this tingling energy, with an intention you set to release old emotions. We mentioned fear, anger, worry, because I'm ready to reclaim a calm, a clarity, a confidence, and a peace to be me. It's an empowered woman. So you're an adult. And even in the spiritual place, it's like in a spiritual maturity where you go beyond being a girl and being a woman into a timeless dimension of spiritual maturity where you can see through the eyes with this calm that can now bring a clarity. So you can say, yes, you've mentioned those emotions, anger, worry, fear, that I can look at them and deal with them now. So we can see fear as an emotion that isn't necessarily good or bad.
Third session, deal with emotions, fear and anger.
So we can see fear as an emotion that isn't necessarily good or bad. It's useful in some situations, particularly when we're young and vulnerable, or in times some fear can protect us. Excess fear can become counterproductive and dangerous, but the right amount of fear can be a skillful message our subconscious sends us where we need to make an adjustment. But then things change. And so your subconscious can find ways where it doesn't need to repeat old fears. Or if it has any kind of fears that are relevant in the now, they can come up and it's okay, but it's just not excess fear. So as you reflect on fear, what feelings or thoughts come up there?
I don't want to be made a fool of.
Does that connect? Yeah. Is there a time, place, or story that, what do you mean by that?
I am okay, but I don't want to being made fun of.
Okay.
I don't, but I'm okay if people talk bad,
Yeah.
and it's okay.
Okay. And so that relates to fear in what way? Like, I'm afraid of what people might say, but how does that connect to fear?
Because
I won't be
I won't
accepted
be
by whom?
accepted by people who play games.
Okay. Okay. People who play games, and these people that are saying stuff, are they to people who talk bad, people who gossip, people who listen to rumors, people who shit talk, people who troll, people who are influenced by other people who lie, that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Exactly. So by whom? Trolls, gossipers, now, or even just people who don't know the story, don't research it, just are manipulated. So, and that's part of why I don't want to be made fun of. I don't want to be talked bad of. I won't be accepted, but and by whom? But always a lot of people are confused or trolled or misinformed, and they can say or think, but what do they know? And so that fear of, I don't want to be made fun of, I don't want to be made a fool of. But if I'm made a fool of by fools or people who've been fooled, so what? I'm not afraid really of that. They don't know any better. So is that kind of conclusion do you come to? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, but yeah, that's good. It's good.
That's why you agree with what I just said, or you can put it into your own words.
People around me now aren't like that,
Okay.
and I know I'm okay.
Okay.
I can trust people around me right now at work.
Okay. Okay. So right now I know I'm okay now. So here's the thing, maybe there was a time where I couldn't trust people back then, but that's in the past. Maybe I was afraid of being made a fool of, and maybe that fear is justified back then. But I know that I'm okay now. So you can be here in the now and know, you know what, I'm okay now. The past is gone. And who were they anyway? They didn't know. They played games. They're gone. And so that boundary, you don't need to be involved with them anymore, isn't it?
No, not at all.
Exactly. I don't need to be involved with them. And that's like logistically. And I don't need to be involved with them mentally or energetically anymore. I can release that energy of fear of being made a fool of to them. But who cares? They're in the past, they're gone. That's over. I don't need to be involved. And I don't need to keep the emotional residues. Is that true?
That's very true.
Beautiful.
Yes. Oh, I feel chills again and so much lighter as if I'm floating.
Yeah. Okay. Let those chills, feeling lighter, floating. So that's a way of telling you. I could say, are you ready to release the remaining X% of emotions like we did before? But you're naturally breathing in a little deeper and then exhaling. And you've automatically before I even got to ask you to do it formally. You spontaneously released and let go so much of that emotion of fear. And so, can you do that in a way? Is there any part where I can be mindful and aware of some people? I can release so much of this emotion. I can trust people around me at work now. I know I'm okay. So I can release that fear. Maybe I can still have a mindfulness that I still have appropriate boundaries. This doesn't mean I trust everybody all the time in future forever, or that I never have any fear or worry. So that way I make sure I don't say anything foolish, or I'm not overly naive or open to people who haven't earned some trust. So can we even say as we release these emotions, we just keep a tiny bit of fear, just enough that we're not naive, but
Yes,
so small that we're just peaceful and happy anyway. So we don't.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
Yes.
But it's not taking over me.
Yes. Perfect. It's a great balance. So I started off saying fear isn't good or bad. It's okay at some times in your life. It's okay in some little doses, just enough to be aware, to not be naive, to set appropriate boundaries, that it doesn't take over or limit me or make me feel it's too much or lock me away or anything. I use it for me instead of against me. It's so small. In fact, that fear is just, even that if I were to have that feeling, it's just, oh, remember to be a bit aware. Okay, cool. You're my friend now. And so, how does it feel?
It feels good because I don't feel like I'm being mean by not revealing my entire self. I can keep parts of myself to myself, and that's okay. It doesn't make me a bad person.
Yeah. Okay.
I can have boundaries, and that's okay. There's nothing mean about having boundaries.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good. And even in the last session, you said some people thought, oh, wow, you're pretty kick ass, bad girl in that cool way. And like, oh, you're sort of too nice. Can you imagine sort of replaying that where like they get to know you and they go, oh, you've got self-respect and boundaries and like you're really nice, but I also respect that power and boundary you've got. So can you imagine bringing in this little element and how it would adjust that situation?
I now I feel that people won't take advantage of me because they see that I have respect for myself. I have respect for my boundaries. And I do it in a way that people respect. And they know I respect myself.
Yeah. So how does it feel to have that?
Hmm. It's, I feel like the balloon is nicely inflated.
Yeah.
It's not about to burst, it's not deflating, it's just nicely, perfectly, the perfect amount of air in it.
Okay. Beautiful. So you've done great. So we face that emotion of fear. And your intention is to release old emotions. So you're going to reclaim, but those old emotions of fear. And so you found that perfect balance, and that can affect you in the now. You know, I don't even need fear now, and I don't need the residues of it from the past. And now, in fact, I've
Mm.
learned how to balance it, to have the right amount, not too tight to bursting, not too loose and deflated. You've got just the right amount. And so with that, you can notice that fear can be an emotion that it's understandable even in younger days, and that can be a dominating one. Like we even found in the second session that once I sort of get over the fear of like, oh, what's my mum going to say or whatever, or why'd she do this or that? And we know why, is because she just kind of like that. And but then we found after that there can be some anger. But then we found after that there can be some anger. I'm going to throw that rock. That's unacceptable, unjust. So once we get over our fear, then we can start to find anger coming up. So our fear can actually stop us seeking justice or even feeling anger. And so you got through enough fear in the preceding session to even get to anger for the first time in a long time. Even like I couldn't even allow myself. But now you can notice anger also isn't necessarily good or bad. It's an understandable reaction to an event for some time. So the key is that anger can give us some energy we need to fight for justice in that moment against that particular person. But once the reasonable situation and duration are over, then it's counterproductive to take anger with us into other situations with other people. So an excess feeling of injustice burns in just us. So now that anger comes up, we don't want to hold on to it. We can just get the message from it. And that's what you'd already done by it came up a little bit in the second session. You threw the rocks and then it seemed like you were able to let it go. So how does it feel as I talk about anger?
Mm. It's an experience.
Okay.
It's nothing good or bad. It's perfectly okay to feel. It lets me know that there's something that needs to be changed, and in this case, my boundaries
Yeah.
and my self-respect and my empowerment in a loving way. I want to hug her.
Okay. So
I
you
want to
can
hug
do
my
that.
mom.
You can recall those previous scenes in this key person. And so as when your mother comes up there, is that connected to a scene or place? Or how do you visualize or imagine your mother?
We're in France, in Versailles.
Yeah.
Third session, regression, person 1, sadness, pain, and compassion.
When your mother comes up there, is that connected to a scene or place? Or how do you visualize or imagine your mother?
We're in France, in Versailles.
Yeah. How
It's the same spot.
how old are you there?
I'm 6 still. We're at the water, at the fountain
Okay.
with the rocks.
Okay. And so what happens next?
I just sit down, I throw the rocks and I just sit down next to her and just hold her hand,
Yeah.
put my head on her shoulder and just love her.
Yeah. What happens next?
She hugs me back.
Well, what do you see, hear, and feel there?
An understanding. of feeling safe.
Okay.
That we know there's things, but right now we understand each other and we love each other.
Okay. Okay.
It's accepting.
Okay. We understand each other. We love each other. It's accepting. Okay. And so that can be that 6 years old you back there. Does it feel like a part of you that's beyond time? It's loving, accepting, understanding. We know there are things going on, but we're kind of transcending those.
Yeah, I feel like part of my body is being lifted out of my body.
Yeah. Is it appropriate to invite her up to this healing place, this garden, your healing temple? So it can be a place. Yeah. So what happens?
Yeah,
What happens as you do that?
there's plants, a whole bunch of green plants and vines, beautiful plants just grew on the inside as well. It's just blossoming, it's growing, beautiful flowers. My mom and I are there. We're sitting there and everything's just growing like a cartoon. Things just, and something good happens and everything gets so much more beautiful.
Okay. And so so you can be in it. Now there are times where it may be you. So you know some things have happened. So this can be an opportunity to process some of those things. Now, do you feel do you feel it's appropriate to deal with any particular scenes or triggers? Or because we could put some old things on a TV screen and see them from a distance.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. It sounds like
It's okay.
It sounds like you've encapsulated a lot of that already. So you're dealing with her essence in this place. It sounds like there's an acceptance and a love and a hugging. And in that, there can be a communication. And so here, there can be an opportunity, though, while we're here, just to say a few things. And so, is it appropriate for you to discuss with her some of the things that have caused you fear or pain, sadness, guilt in the past?
Um, uh, uh, mm, the feeling's feeling really good to do that. Uh,
I tell you what, okay, I tell you, it may not be necessary because it sounds like well, even as you do that, what kind of feeling comes up?
apprehension, because this feels really nice.
Okay,
I want it to stay this way.
okay. So here's one thing. So let's for a moment stay with that. And so you can be in this place where it's risen above. And so there can be a part where you can connect with her at this higher place. And you can stay here and it feels like you are risen out of your body. And isn't it? Where you feel separated
Yeah,
from yourself, from Cece. Is it almost like you can
yeah,
be a soul, a spirit that's above and beyond all that?
yeah. My legs aren't in my legs. My hands aren't in my hands.
Okay. And does it feel that your mother is kind of raised out of her personality or body and she's just here as a spiritual entity as well?
Not quite.
Okay. In what way?
She's here physically as well.
Okay.
She's here, all of her. The spiritual, yes, the spiritual understands. It knows. We know. We accepting. We understand.
Yeah.
The physical form is not quite on that train yet, but that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. So this is okay because we've worked through some fear and anger, and that's let you float up here. And then there can also be some parts within you, some emotions you're here to let go can be sadness. So maybe even an apprehension about dealing with some emotions, some realities. And so we talked about boundaries. And so the boundary is, I know my mother is basically a soul that I will want to connect with and have a relationship with and do stuff in my life. I also know that she's a bit of a difficult person, and she's probably in some pain in some way. I know she had a bit of a tough upbringing. I know she had a lot of pain when my father cheated or just left her. Maybe she cheated in a way by being kind of mean to him. Maybe he cheated physically. Either way, they both felt pain from that. And you know what it's like to see your mother in a lot of pain, crying when you're 13, 14, isn't it? So we can talk about sadness. And she's created a lot of some fear and anger in you. She's also left you with a sadness. And sadness comes rarely when you have happiness. I had my mother, my father, and nice houses with swimming pools, friends, travel, everything's good. And then the sadness comes when we lose something. So the only way to feel really sad is to first feel really happy. And then lose something, that's the recipe for sadness. So if you never really have much to lose, you don't know what loss is. If you're never really happy, you probably don't know what sadness is.
That's what Grandpa says.
Ah, beautiful. And so they can even say, given the choice, we would keep our sadnesses so that we could keep the happinesses that we'd had. And so this can lead to an equanimity beyond happiness.
Yes, it's all, it just is. It's just experience.
Yes.
It's feelings, it's experience, it's life.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Sometimes it doesn't feel so good, but that's okay. It's okay. Who cares? It's okay.
Yeah. Beautiful. So I'm sad. I accept it. I embrace it. I'm sad. So what? Who cares? And there is within that a smile, because they say in every smile there's a tear, and in every tear there's a smile. Whatever appears to come and go is okay. That's the play of life. And this equanimity, go beyond happy or sad, leads you into a peace that passes understanding. I'm really sad, it's fine. And I'm smiling. And so with that, you can go, as you go deeper into sadness, you come out into a peace. So we can easily get stuck in fear, and that's it. But once we get through fear, we get to anger. Once we get through anger, we get to sadness. Once we get to sadness, we get to peace. So you've gone through a beautiful dynamic range. You didn't get shut down. You didn't hide away from fear or get locked into it or a pattern. You didn't get stuck in anger or revenge. You went into sadness and had the courage to face sadness. And sadness taught you that within that there's a peace.
Fear is bad. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Fear is icky experience.
Yeah. So you can go through it. So what else do you know about sadness now? Someone does something that you don't like or want or wouldn't wish, and you get sad, and then what do you know about sadness now?
I know I can't take it personally. It's hard to not when it's directed towards you.
Yeah.
But I really need to step aside from the part that thinks it's about me.
Yes. Okay. Beautiful. And so, can you do that, and how can you do that?
Breathe,
Yeah.
ground, be within myself.
Yeah. So I can step away from that part that feels that it's about me. And so as you do that, there can be like a little me, which is in pain and hurt by someone else's actions. We can be angry about it. We can be sad about it. We can be afraid of it happening again. We can be afraid when we're little and carry those residues. But all of that is kind of pain. So we can step away from it.
Step away. Yes.
Here's the thing, we can step away from our own pain, those old residues, but we can step into your real self, which is your empowered true self. We know that who cares what other people think? I'm afraid of being a fool, what they think of me. They're acting out of their pain, their weakness, their ignorance. They don't know. And but I don't have to act out of my pain, my fear. I can break the cycle, not be afraid of them. It's unnecessary. I might be a bit sad about it for a little bit, but not for long. I can step out of my fear, my anger, my sadness, step out of those pains and step into my empowered self, which is calm, which is clear, which is calm and it breathes, like you said, which is clarity. What do they know? Well, that's the best they can do. That's just how they are. And you're choosing to break the cycle, to not get drawn into their games, to choose your way.
Yes.
You've got the confidence. I know my way better than that. And this will give me peace. And that's what it's about. That's my choice. So, how would you put that in your words?
They can play at their table. I've got a different table.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'm Technicolor. They're black and white.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but that's just where they are, and that's not where I am.
Yes. And so, with that, you reiterate, I step out of any of my old pains, or that part of me that feels the pains, the worries, the fears, the angers, the sadnesses. I step into my power, step up to my table, my calm, that clarity. I'm on a different realm, a different level. I don't get drawn into that kind of game, that realm. There's a confidence.
It's colorful.
Yes. What else?
It's juicy.
Okay.
It's juicy. and where they are, it's kind of drab.
Yeah.
And gray.
Yeah.
And there's no room for that here. It's not now.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'll eat it up. The color will eat them up and make them colorful maybe one day.
Okay. Maybe one day. And so with that, there's a compassion inherent in that. Sounds like you've realized for that person, those people, in many ways, their life experience, their state of mind is gray and drab. It's almost like a punishment or a place they're in where I feel, well, I don't want to be in that. And I don't want to feel those emotions and have those confused or limited thoughts like they do. And I don't want to be freed from their influence. And it sounds like you are. So you don't act out of your own pain to punish or throw stones or anything. You act now out of your power to forgive, to allow natural justice to take its own course, and to see that it's already so. You're at a different level, they're at there. So this gives you the ability to focus on your own wisdom of compassion for yourself, to take your place at a higher level. And so do you feel a compassion or something like that to those in a drab level?
Um, it's more of an acceptance that that's where they are,
Yes.
and that's okay.
Yes.
They don't compassion because there's nothing wrong with where they are. It's just where they are, and
Yeah. That's even better. I like it. Acceptance of where they are. From that, can there then be an acceptance of what they do?
yes, I, I, I don't. It doesn't bother me now if someone else thinks something.
Yeah.
Let them think it. What can I do? I I have my colorful world to be in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is where I belong. Going over there is deflating me.
Yeah.
And I like the colorful world.
Okay. Okay. And so notice. So there are some, I can accept what they do. And notice for some of that, it's quite distant. And so, can there be people? You can go through and forgive people for certain things. It can be even an acceptance that as a kind of forgiveness or compassion. And so,
It's like, what?
yeah,
You are how you are.
yeah. Can we is it helpful to specify that to maybe some of those people in the last couple of years ago that are like the old flying monkey kind of a thing?
Third session, forgiveness.
Is it helpful to specify that to maybe some of those people in the last couple of years ago that are like the old flying monkey kind of a thing, or the monkey sender? Can we say, can you specify that to them, and can you understand those people that we just accept what they do, we don't get involved with it, they do it, so what? So if you, as you apply that insight generally to a specific situation, what happens?
I just say, you messed up, man.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
Don't do it again.
Okay. And who are you directing that to?
Flying monkey number one.
Okay. You messed up, man. Don't do it again. And now that you've got these boundaries, this self-respect, uh, can you imagine how is that taken? You messed up, man. That's okay. Don't do it again. And as your energy changes, as you have that clarity, that boundary, that self-respect,
It feels, it doesn't have that warmth to it yet because it's still unfamiliar,
okay,
but it doesn't have the heaviness. It's light. It's it's a vessel that has plenty of room to grow into this in a proper, good, wonderful way, as opposed to being sludged.
okay, okay. And then can you say, so you said then you messed up, man, but that's okay. Is it useful to specify When I was younger, a couple of years ago, you called names or slandered. You made me feel I'm not good enough. You made me think I can't trust people. That formed a belief that I've got to hide away. So is it okay to address some of those things now in this state?
I want to kick his butt.
Okay. And can
But then right after that, I'll smile.
okay. And so can we take Flying Monkey? Is it still Flying Monkey 1 you're thinking of?
Yes,
So
yes.
can we even let them know, like, you did this thing? What was it? You mocked me.
You betrayed me.
Yeah. Okay. And can you?
You played mind games. You tried to trap me in things, to saying things, to doing things.
Yeah. Okay.
You got other people to trap me and make me believe things that weren't true,
Right.
and made me feel like I was stupid for even suggesting it was such a thing.
Okay.
Made me feel like I was making things up.
Yeah. So can you say you made me feel angry, sad, not good enough?
You made a fool of me,
Yeah.
and that's not nice.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So this is very relevant. You made a fool of me, and that was part of the fear was connected to. So then you made me, what did they make you think? What conclusion back then? Did they make you think?
That I was messed up in the head,
Yeah.
that I wasn't right, that my thoughts and feelings were just crazy out there,
Yeah.
that that
Okay, that's good. So that was something that made you think. Did that then form a belief? Did you?
the belief was more of the shock of the betrayal,
Okay.
because I know that I was justified in how I was feeling,
Yeah.
but the shock was new.
Okay. And can you even let them know because of that? That led me to a place where
It hurt me.
yes,
I was very hurt.
yes,
And I said that. I said that to him, but he told me that he's willing to talk about it and just write everything down. And that's where I said, not worth it.
okay,
Not worth it.
okay,
I'm above that.
yes, okay. So it's just going to be more mind games, more stuff. And was it around this time as well you just thought, it hurt me, it shocked me, and part of me just wanted to forget about it, erase it, get out of the situation? Was this, there were some pills, and is it connected to this?
It was after that.
Like,
But part of that, because I was texting base,
yeah,
and I know I was texting nonsense. I was, because I wasn't me. I didn't know who I was.
yeah,
But then Flying Monkey, he said that he had this girl who just started texting in gibberish, and he doesn't know, she went crazy or something. He was talking about me,
okay,
even though he was telling me it was someone else.
okay, okay,
He was making it to be me
okay.
and playing mind games.
Okay, so now we know about the person to forgive that had been part of a fear, that had been part of a key person of residues that have been affecting you and causing you to lose confidence in yourself, to lock yourself away. And that had kind of been triggered in the last 12 hours. It had come up again. So it's very important and relevant that it's come up now. It sounds like automatically your mother So much stuff is cleared and there's a love there. But the specifics of behaviors and actions we can look at. We got into some specifics, but now there's an acceptance of where they are. It's okay. It's an acceptance of what they do. I'm not bothered by someone else thinking something. I have my own colorful world to be in. This is where I belong. You messed up, man. Don't do it again, flying monkey. There's not a same heaviness to it. There's a lightness to it. And so as you review that, you can honestly know what had happened. You can learn from it. So that shock of betrayal you said was a big thing. And so now you're learning boundaries, respect, and knowing and going beyond any naivety that can be shocked or any boundaries that can enable things. And you'd already said, oh, let's sit down and talk it out. And you're like, no, boundary, dude. You've been playing with silly games. I'm not going to sit at the little table with you going over more stuff. You see you later, bro. And so how does it feel now as you've gone through and known what you felt, what you thought, the beliefs that it had? Can you then break any beliefs? Like, I was kind of confused as weird texting girl, but no, he was messed up. I'm not going to be writing stuff down with him. I'm not going to be writing text with those guys. Done.
Mm-mm.
So what conclusion do you come to, knowing what you know, accepting of where they're at and choosing your colorful empowered?
That's what I chose then. That's what I choose now.
Yes.
And I'm going to stay there. I'm going to be aware that possibly something could happen, but I'm not going to let that take over me because I'm good where I'm at and they are who they are. And if other people choose to be that way too, I will be okay with that. I will be okay with that.
Okay. So that's it. You're understanding the person to forgive. You're a wise adult now making a choice. I can think, did they really have an intention to be the parent they were, the friend they were? Maybe there's some positive intention. Maybe it's misguided, but maybe they had different conditioning from their generation. Maybe they've got a lot of pain in their own self.
They have pain.
Yes. So
Pain.
they're acting out of their pain, trying to sow seeds of confusion, but you're calmly breathing. You have clarity and you're choosing to move away from the residues of your own pain. And everyone has this choice, and you're choosing to step into your power, which is kind of outside of yourself, kind of outside of, we've all carried pain through our interactions with the world, but we choose to act out of our power and our empowered, higher, colorful self. That's what you're doing, knowing that they're playing at the little table in the dark, drab, and you're choosing to go to the higher table of color, which is where we can get into forgiveness and defining it. So before we get in, there's an acceptance or even forgiveness. We can look at forgiveness just and see how this works for you, because it's not a denial or just of their actions. You don't pretend it didn't happen. We're not justifying them. And it doesn't mean that they're allowed back into your life. It just means the boundaries are clarified and strengthened. With some of those boundaries will mean that they're phased out of your life and soon never to be part of it. Means with other one.
It's clinical.
In what way?
It has to be done.
Yes.
And it is clean.
Yes.
And there's no residue.
Yes.
It's clean.
Yes.
It's clinical.
In the last session, you mentioned I've cleared a lot of sludge off me. And isn't it? And so now there are some people that have been flinging sludge at me. So you're cleaned of all the sludge, but now maybe there's some people who try and throw sludge at you. But if you've got a clear clinical boundary, you're going to be too far away for their sludge to get you. Or if someone who is allowed a bit closer throws a bit of sludge, it's like you're feeding a baby. The baby throws some of their food back at you. Whatever.
Bye.
Clean it up. You don't really know what you're doing. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. I'll clean it off. That's not my sludge. I'm not confused. I just clean it off.
I don't clean it off. It goes away by itself.
Really? How?
Yes. It transmutes. It dissipates. It goes away by itself.
Perfect.
It just shrinks and goes away.
Okay. Beautiful. And so accepting, forgiving, that's automatic. It doesn't have to benefit the person or people you forgive in any way. The person that it really benefits when you forgive is you. So by forgiving, you become more powerful. It helps you be free of them. So the past can't hurt anymore. So when you control how you feel when you're forgiving away out-of-date emotions and forgetting energy and getting back to your enjoyable future. And so as you've discovered that, it just transmutes what percentage of the old emotions, thoughts, or beliefs that you'd experience through the games, the falls, the mess, all that stuff, as you release that now, those old limiting thoughts and emotions through, does it feel like 50, 75% or more?
It feels more.
Like 80, 90?
That feels like 100% in the wisdom of knowing that's how it will be and it can be.
Yes.
Now, I am fighting with a little bit of the ego I have, but that is the beauty of this, that the 100% makes the little bit go away more.
Okay. So what kind of ego do you mean?
By wanting them to know that I know what's going on.
Okay.
But that's okay. They don't need to know that.
Yes.
It doesn't make it any better. It'll still remain the same. So I'll stay here in my 100%.
Okay. So that's great. So by doing that, you're giving away old emotions like anger, fear, sadness. This opens a door to new, better emotions like calm, confidence, happiness, and peace. So with every breath, you can inhale calm, clarity, confidence, peace. You can exhale outdated emotions relating to those people or persons. With every breath, exhaling, releasing more and more because you've suffered enough. You've suffered enough. The past is the past. Your life circumstances and you are changing, transmuting, improving, tingling, moving in the right direction. And so as you do that, even up to 100%, you know that with every breath, you can continue to release the appropriate amount of emotions in the coming days at a deep level. And your subconscious mind has a wonderful ability to generalize. So it may be 100% of that. And it can be very high percentages of this and everything else too. So your forgiveness, acceptance, understanding of a particular person can extend and expand to the appropriate amount of forgiveness and release for other people indirectly and automatically now because of what you've already done. So do you feel that this applies to flying monkey, partners, family members together?
this one, she'll be okay.
Okay.
I will be okay. That's my higher self talking.
Okay.
Or my guide talking.
Yeah.
They've never done that before.
Okay. Beautiful. I think you'd said there'd been one single word before, but now you've got a phrase. This one, she'll be okay. So,
Learning a lot.
yes.
Balancing a lot.
Is it?
Chills.
Is this your insight, or is there anything else your guide can say, or is that one sentence is plenty?
We're very pleased. She's been doing the work.
Is there any advice or assistance or thing you'd say to her while we have this chance? Anything more?
She's doing the work.
Okay. That's great. And so she's doing the work. She's come to step into her own power, step away from old past pains that are from the past. And so as you observed what she's done in these 3 sessions, are you pleased with what she's been able to do and achieve and the process she's followed?
Chills again.
So it sounds like they're giving you a lot of credit, a lot of love. And so we can forgive other people, we can accept other people, and we can also forgive ourselves and give ourselves a lot of credit and be happy and pleased with ourselves. So is it appropriate to forgive yourself or to give yourself so much credit? So as you look back on actions of that younger part of you, anything you think, oh, why didn't I have boundary or stand up for myself in that time or whatever? Is there any part of you, or can you?
I'm a kick-ass little girl.
Okay, cool. Automatically already done. Is there any part of you that thinks it'd be useful in any way to be forgiven? Is there anyone you'd apologize to or ask forgiveness from? And it can just be at a soul level. Is there any part of you that feels that'd be helpful or appropriate? It doesn't have to be.
There's an understanding.
Yes.
It's okay. There's an understanding.
Okay.
It was supposed to be this way.
Yeah. Okay. That's beautiful. So we can conclude the forgiveness. You've been able to forgive or just accept others, yourself, be forgiven. You've done that automatically. Inherently, I don't need to clean stuff off if they throw stuff. It's transmuted. So because of that, how do you feel? What does this lead you to feel?
Clean.
Clean. Okay. Does it bring a peace?
I'm not used to it yet.
Okay.
But it's safe.
Safe. Okay. So, and how does this change that comes? Does it feel stronger, freer? What words for you is this new thing?
Lighter.
Lighter.
It's clear.
Yeah.
It's clear.
Lighter, clear. And so what?
Clear.
Okay. And so what is this? What is this free, light, clear? What does this mean for the current issues, the questions or difficulties about relationships? What does that mean in words?
It means
Yeah.
that I'm not an extension of them.
Yes. Beautiful. Okay, so I tell you what, there can be a useful process technique we can use, which is cord cutting. So, can you imagine a symbol?
Third session, cord cutting. Now, you've just seen the emotions, regression, and forgiveness were extended versions. So, this cord cutting is a shortened version of cord cutting. Often, the previous sections will be a bit shorter, and this cord cutting will be a bit longer, but it balances out this way this time.
There can be a useful process technique we can use, which is cord cutting. So, can you imagine a symbol, an image of the old behaviors, habits, thoughts that had connected you to them? And it might be drab, a grey blob, a small table, old luggage, a trash can, an old faded personal connection. It could be a symbol of that old energy that you throw away like you did with your hands. If that had a visual symbol, what can that look like?
It's knots.
Okay. Like,
It's roots with thorns
okay.
and interweaved and
Yes. Okay, so now we can work with that symbol. Is that connected to you in some way? Is there like a rope, a string? Okay, and we can move that symbol off into the distance a little bit. We can get thinner, fragile, but are you connected? A chain, a rope, a string, an energy, a cord, anything like that?
I think she's done.
Okay. So as you've been moving your hands, as you moved your hands to wish it away down to the side, to whoosh it, to cut through, as you moved your hands, if you cut through any of those cords, like a scissor, a knife, a sword, a laser that cut that away. So what happened to that thing? Did it dissolve? Did it go into the horizon? Did it dissipate, transmute? What happened? She's done.
Mhm.
That's it.
This is a cool feeling to feel my guide speak through me, yet I have control,
Yeah.
but I allow myself to set aside for you.
Okay.
This is cool.
Okay. And we're here for a purpose, and they've done this in the third session for the purpose of therapeutic resolution, to tell you that you can cut away those old residues of emotions and be free of it. And so that past is gone, and now you're able to take these breakthroughs and have them flow through into your current life.
Third session, future progression.
Now you're able to take these breakthroughs and have them flow through into your current life. Imagine moving forward into a future moment that hasn't happened yet. It isn't, but is an inevitable consequence of what you've done so far. So maybe it's doing new things or having a new state of being, calm, clear, confidence, at peace. So it can be days ahead, days or weeks ahead. So with 3, a time you haven't experienced yet, but with 2, where you're able to have your boundaries, your power, your strength, your insights, and you're able to implement them and imagine on a bright movie screen, days or weeks into the future, feeling good, empowered, stepping into yourself with 1 first impression. Where are you then?
I'm in the living room,
Okay.
and Drummer is throwing a tantrum of a story he's just made up.
Yeah.
And I just say, when he's ready to speak without the tantrum to me, I am more than willing to speak with him. But until then, I'm going to be over here doing my thing.
Okay. How does it feel to say that, to do that?
It just feels normal.
Okay, so you're getting used to it. It becomes normal. Before it was like, oh, I've let some energy, and now it's becoming more and more normal. And how does he react? Is he surprised?
Oh, he's it. eh, No, now he's wanting me to feel sorry for him.
Okay,
There's a sob story now,
okay.
but I know that. I know it, and it's still part of the tantrum.
Yeah,
When he calms down and can speak without the tantrum like a human adult,
yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, great. Like a human adult, then we can talk. And it's kind of funny. He's running a strategy. It sounds like at the beginning, his tantrum is like he's barking. And when the barking doesn't work, he's like, like dogs do that yelping thing. It's like, well, that's still part of your tantrum. It's either a bark or a yelp. Be a human and we'll talk like humans. And so you can see through his strategies and it's effective. So you've changed and he's changed. He's now you're not shocked and surprised and confused. You're like, yeah, I know this strategy A, switch to strategy, try and make me the victim. Strategy B, try and play the victim. Strategy C, I'm not playing either of those games. I see through it. Let's talk like humans. And so you've seen through it. You made a change and he stopped barking. And then he changes, but you didn't get drawn into the second story either. And so that's beautiful. So your skillfulness, your naivety, he's the one that's shocked, not you. And you're running the show, making him play at your level or not play at all. And if he can come talk to you, cool. But that's great. And so what happens then in the hours or days after that?
He acts like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
And he wants to do nice things for me.
Okay.
And then I acknowledge, but I'm not going to be as coddly anymore.
Okay.
I'm not going to reward him.
Yeah. Beautiful. So you're doing great. So that's the next days, weeks, and months. So you've done great. You've seen, I'm not going to be as coddling. I'm not rewarding. I'm changing the script. And the way that changing the things that I do changes so much about him. And so that's the next days, weeks. Can you play it forward months, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months? You've progressed and
Nah.
or here's the thing, doesn't have to do with drama. Let's
Oh.
just imagine another time where 6 months from now, maybe the drama's gone. You could be anywhere. Maybe you've moved on. Maybe you're in a new place. Maybe it's 6 months. Maybe it's a year. Maybe just imagine a place you're in a different living environment. And interesting. That opens up a few possibilities. I kind of assume 6 months, but could. So play it forward to a different circumstance where you've progressed towards achieving some logistical changes. You already got those logistical changes with drama. Now imagine what it could be. 6 months, maybe a year with 3 floating forward 2.
I don't have people like that around me.
First impression, where are you there? What do you have?
I have my space.
Yeah.
Everything mine is there. My stuff, my couch, my art, my music, my camera, and it's mine.
How does that look or feel?
It's no one wants to take it away.
Yeah.
It's not even part of my reality.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. So I asked you about months into the future, and then there's an initial little while, it'll just be whatever the days and weeks were, it'll be the same in months. But no, then you're like, oh, things have opened up and things change and things get clearer and better. So notice that and enjoy it. The benefits of these are the changes you made. You changed the way you interacted with certain people, and that changed the way you interact with yourself. And suddenly you find yourself 6 months down the line, you do those things, then life changes for you. And
It's getting warmer.
yes, now you're warming into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so your guide said, she's going to be okay. She's doing the work. We're not clicking our fingers and tomorrow everything's perfect, but you're warming into it, still doing the work. That as time goes by, you've got a patience and persistence, and you're warming into it, and you're making things better day by day, week by week, month by month. You can enjoy the benefits. And so, can you imagine being in this place months ahead, just getting used to it, warming up and into it? Can you imagine we're living like this months and months, 6 months, a year? Where can that take you a few years into the future?
I'm traveling.
Okay. First impressions, where are you?
Thailand and Koh Lipe again.
Okay. And how does it look and feel to be there?
Oh, it's so clear and beautiful, and it's mine to experience
Yeah.
with everyone. And
With every
it feels good.
with everyone? What do you mean by with everyone?
Everyone who's there.
Okay.
Everyone who's
Yeah. All the people that are colorful and adventurous and can find their way to this.
my people.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. So you're with your people. Now, as you're in this place in Koh Lipe, years from now, you'd moved on logistically a year or two beforehand, and you're with the people that you want to be around and resonating with, and you're in that place, and you know there are some people that, oh gosh, I haven't talked to that guy for a couple of years. Wonder what he's doing. Who cares? Maybe I'll look on Facebook. Who cares? And then imagine now, but then there are other people in my life that I sort of, that I will be in contact with, my brother, my dad, my mom. Can you imagine as you're in that place in Koh Lipe years from now with your people, you're like, oh, maybe I write a postcard to my mom or a text. As you're in this place years from now, feeling good in your power, you think, oh, maybe I'll text her. What do you think? What do you think about her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just let her know that you're thinking about her.
Mm.
And if she responds, she does. If she doesn't,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Okay. And what can you even imagine? Maybe she goes, oh, Koh Lipe is nice. But you know what? Boracay is.
She'll do her silly, what are you doing there?
Just imagine if she goes, oh, my dear, you are wrong. You should have gone to Boracay. Boracay is in the beautiful Philippines. Why this Thailand? Go to Boracay. And you say,
We'll go next time.
well, can you imagine that? And she says, yeah, well, I'm out here for a while. I'll be in. Can you imagine that? And so she says, oh, Koh Lipe, big mistake, my dear. You are completely wrong. Boracay.
And I will say I will go next time.
Okay.
And that's okay.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the next year?
Yes.
Can you imagine? Well,
Yeah.
do you think you would go to Boracay or somewhere else?
With
Yeah,
her?
where would you go to?
Or by myself? I would.
If you went to the Philippines with her,
I want to go to the Philippines.
whereabouts?
Yes.
You've got many islands, just like Thailand, but or many cities.
Waterfalls.
Okay. Is there a place you know in the Philippines where you might go to?
I don't know the name, but it's hard to get to.
Yeah.
You need to walk there, go by. You can't get there by car.
Okay. Would your mother be able to do that? Could you?
I'll carry her on my back.
Okay.
I'll piggyback her.
So whatever it is, imagine now a strategy for a place where I'm in Colipe doing my stuff a few years from now. She responds, whatever. And then and you get into this thing, oh, and maybe she even just throws dirt. Oh, Thailand, big mistake, my dear. And then you're like, oh, whatever. Can you transmute that and go, imagine,
I will say,
yeah,
yes. Then, okay, then that's the place that you and I will go together then.
okay, beautiful. And so, and can you imagine being in that place in the waterfalls?
Mm,
And how does it look and feel?
it's fun.
It's
My mom is laughing. We're laughing because she's being her silly self.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So as you look, and so what kind of conclusions does that let you come to as you reflect on this?
That she's let go as well.
Okay.
That that she feels me and she respects that and she wants that as well for herself.
Okay.
Is what I feel.
Okay.
But whatever it is, it's good.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. So that the future we can visualize or imagine specifics. But whether or not the specifics happen, the main thing is this is what I feel. And the principle is she's let go as well. So it means you've let go. Then that helps her to let go. And you respect yourself so she can respect you more. And you do want to message her and be in contact with her and trouble with her. And you feel there's that part of her, she wants this for herself as well. So regardless of what actually happens in the future, you've let go. If she's able to fully let go here or there in this life or the next, whatever, you've let go. And you've got the self-respect. If she can respect you and respect herself, cool.
Wrapping up the session.
Main thing is you've done it, and you can see and imagine that future, and that's great and fine to do so. And you can feel great because you came in. Why is my mother like this? Why did she hate me? And all this stuff. So it's like, wow, that's how she is. I respect myself. We can be like, what then what do I do? Where do I go from here? It's dark, lonely, isolated. And so what?
That feels so long ago.
Yes, exactly. So that was that thing that you said. And it is this loneliness. What am I doing on this planet? Relationships. Why have I attracted this in to my intimate relationship, starting with my mother? And you notice the opposite. I'm now de-attracting those people. They're phasing out of my life. And I'm finding my mother seems to hate me, but it seems that we can travel together and be okay. So how did that was that question. How do you think and feel about how long that what seems like so long ago, that was your big question, the issue? How do you look at it and feel about it now?
That it was a block.
Yeah.
Of time, of period that wasn't experienced to live. It's a block and solid, but now we're no longer in that block.
Yeah.
Now we're here where there's no cage, there's no walls, there's no cube that we're stuck in. At least not that cube, not that block.
Okay. Okay, that's great. So you're doing great. And so now you're programming your mind for your future by telling it what you want to happen, what you're ready to have happen. So you get what you focus on. You've created a new reality so you can look positively toward the future. So you can feel great because you've regressed to these causative events and dealt with core emotions and people to release emotions, cut cords, and forgive. And you can now be more present in the now, be in the flow that moves you forward with a patience and persistence, with a calm, clarity, and confidence and peace in each step along the way. So are there any conclusions that you have as you look back over this session and this process?
This had to be done. This was how it was meant to be.
Yes.
It's understood.
Okay.
And I was made to learn that and grow from this.
Yes. Beautiful. It's a way of transcending even the nature emotion of forgiveness and acceptance. And so you've done this. And so how does this mean you can move forward now with a patience, a persistence, a calm, clarity, and peace in every step along the way? How does the future look now?
I want to start singing.
Okay.
I mean, I want to explain it. I'm happy. It's, when people break out into song because they're happy.
Yeah.
That's
Beautiful. A joy to sing from the rooftops.
It's open. There's open world.
Okay. Fantastic. So you can continue in that open world with this state of being, with this openness, free from things of the past, and able to step forward with patience and persistence, empowered with that stepping away from any past pain, stepping into your power now. And you've done a great job. So I acknowledge that, congratulate you for showing up today and for responding and going through this so well. So thank your spirit guide and the way they are able to speak more than ever before, just a line or two, but that's perfectly enough to let us know so you can treasure and remember those words. And she's got this. She can do it. She's doing the work. She's done it. It needed to be done, and she's doing it. So there can be an appreciation of the work that you've done, and even appreciation, all the ups and downs, the things I've been through. It's all for some reason, for my learning, growth, development, and ultimately my wisdom. And so, yeah. So any last words? So what is that insight in your words? Is that pretty much it?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just...
That means I am done.
Okay, congratulations. So in a moment, I'll count you up to 5, and at 5, you can come back fully into the moment, feeling good. So you can be aware of your body with 1, with 2, your fingers and toes can wiggle with 3, aware of the room around you with 4. And soon you'll be able to come back and you'll be aware of the mic above your head. So with 5, you can open the eyes and coming all the way back, feeling good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, refreshed and aware, feeling good. And how do you feel?
That was neat.
Neat. Cool.
I'm sorry for lack of a better word. That was fun. Yeah. Honestly.